awesome.
In 2008, a lot of people got hurt. When America sneezes, the whole world gets a cold. We're sneezing right now. Europe is getting hammered. There are protests around the world. There are people in the streets in Paris. There are countries raising their retirement levels. There are all these little dials that are having to adjust for the fact that Jay Powell is jacking up rates and the dollar is inflating.
Yeah, even with the bank bailout, Jay Powell increased the rates to 0.25. And so that was kind of like even keel for the market. That's why we saw, such a crab this past week.
But what we're saying was that we're screwing over the rest of the world that's denominated in dollars. There is a lot of pain around the world, but the pain is actually diffused to the foreign people that have to deal with a dollar world, and then their currency is not strong enough, and then they're getting screwed, almost even worse than us. But the people that still have money are wondering, I shouldn't just hold dollars. Now
Exactly.
the case for Bitcoin.
Do I want to be in Bitcoin? Do I want to be in ETH with all this uncertainty? Like I'm in that do I question what should I like cash and no longer
Gold
safe?
has gold has apparently been going up relative to other stuff. Silver, physical items, collectibles. Also, certain stocks. The thing is, the economy is getting screwed as well
Yeah.
because inflation hurts the consumers. There's less money to spend. But the idea is that as everything inflates, as long as you hold assets that will be denominated in the inflated currency, one Microsoft share is going to be one Microsoft share. One McDonald's burger is one McDonald's burger. One can of beans is one can of beans. So if in 5 years that can of beans is $20 instead of 3 or 5, you still have the can of beans. You still have the Microsoft share. So what is a safe hold? But if there's a recession, those Microsoft shares are going to get hurt.
Yeah.
But the can of beans is always a can of beans. A chunk of gold, a Rolex is a Rolex.
So yeah, especially with like all this uncertainty, like, where to put your money in, like there's this huge fight between, fiat and in crypto right now. And like even because, with all the uncertainty with the federal banks, there's this, you know, rotation into crypto. So obviously you're gonna like wanna hurt on crypto or hate on crypto. And so there's this huge fight with crypto in the Federal Reserve and just the government. And so Coinbase got, served papers, the Wells notice, with their staking with ETH, saying ETH is a security, kind of like leaning in with that KuCoin lawsuit from the New York Attorney General. And so like the Wells notice basically insinuates that they're gonna get sued uh by the US government regarding crypto. And so the fight for regulation is on right now. There's all this uncertainty and you know people leaning towards crypto and the US government trying to ban crypto because they want to keep the dollar strong.
So it's hard to see, but it's I can show. Choose your fighter right here.
Brian Armstrong.
Brian Armstrong. And then on the other side, Gary Gensler. So
what was that meme where it was like, oh, the US has $2.9 billion?
Yeah, the SEC has $2.9 billion, and Brian Armstrong is worth 3.1 billion.
So it's fair fight. Let's go.
They're gonna take it to the mat. Like Brian Armstrong is like, we tried to comply.
Well, the Coinbase is the most US compliant crypto company.
They do everything they
it's
can.
publicly traded stock, like on the new you can't say that about Gemini. You can't say that about Kraken. Like it's the
and they don't do the shady FTX stuff. They're not like loaning out.
There was some shady shit.
They were
with
trying
the
to do
coin.
some staking.
There was some insider trading with the coin.
Yeah.
Like let's not like.
Well, I won't absolve them.
Yeah, completely. They're not absolved completely, but you can definitely say they're the most like U.S. compliant, being a publicly
and they talk about
company.
it how they try. They post the letters. They've written to the SEC. They've done everything they can.
They've asked questions like, "Oh, why? What are your reasons why you think
Why can't we
because
do like a Coinbase earn, like
they
a
don't
Gemini
they
earn?
don't
Why can't we do
provide
staking?
any feedback, or like,
And they
they're
clearly
trying
are
to
like,
work with the government, but the government just doesn't want to give any answers. It's like,
and then so there are foreign countries as well where they're trying to clamp down on crypto. They're increasing taxes on crypto. They're making it harder to on and off ramp. So when I say on and off ramp, it basically means to take your money and to purchase crypto. But it's because they're scared. We got them on their heels. Like, come on. And then with
Elizabeth
the banking
Warren.
crisis, I again with my MBA friends, I have these memes and stuff where it's like, hey guys, let's all play this prank on our bankers. April 1st, we all take out all of our money.
Let's make a bank run, guys. But it's like,
It's so true though.
remember
It's
that
so true.
meme with the dogs where it's like, oh, raising rates, crypto, or it's like banking, the banks, and then it's
Oh,
the
it's like
dog fucking
yeah, they're
fucking the
like all
banks, and it's
fucking yeah.
Jay Powell.
Yeah. And I mean, yeah, the banks are just getting brutalized.
Yeah, so,
But fuck banks. Be
but
your
it's
own
also
bank.
the regional banks too are getting fucked the most
Yeah.
because they're bailing out
So
the
I
big
saw
banks.
one thing where it was in terms of deposits, it was roughly 900 billion deposits were withdrawn from banks. But the big banks, JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, Chase, et cetera, they increased their deposits by 300 billion. So it's a shift and a centralization that's going to the big banks that have already been discussed that they're backstopped by the Federal Reserve. Janet Yellen said, anything that is a systemic risk, we will backstop. These bankers are playing around and making their money with dumb bets. They get paid tons of money. And if they fail, the government bails them out. And then at the end of the day, it's the taxpayer paying either through their taxes that backstop this and then the increase in the debt of the government, or the taxpayer is paying in inflation. So the everyday person is getting screwed. These bankers fail at their job, but it doesn't matter. And the people who are trading in dollars in Africa, Asia, Europe are getting screwed over because of our domestic policy. I just think that's a succinct way of saying it. And people